I'm getting on a bus in Papua New Guinea with Sebby Sambom, the spokesman for Organisasi Papua Merdeka, the OPM, or the Free Papua Movement. Sebby coordinates communications for their armed wing, the West Papua National Liberation Army, or TPNPB. That's him at a meeting in December 2022. TPN is a guerrilla army that has been fighting the Indonesian government's occupation of West Papua ever since Indonesia moved in and claimed the territory from the Dutch in the 1960s. Indonesia forced a rigged referendum. 1,000 Papuans handpicked by the Indonesian military under threat of violence were asked if they wanted an independent West Papua or to be part of Indonesia. In the 60 years since the takeover, Indonesia has committed an unquantifiable amount of atrocities against the Papuan population, with estimates of people killed in the hundreds of thousands. Sebby's group acts as a scattered array of regional militias, resisting Indonesian incursions onto their land, sometimes just using bows and arrows against an army that resorts to aerial bombardments like this. In recent years, the Indonesian government has been using an array of armaments against its citizens that has included Thales-designed rockets like these, Serbian mortars which I got to see in person, and white phosphorus. Over time, the TPN has managed to stockpile a modest array of weapons, usually taken from members of the Indonesian military they kill or corrupt soldiers they trade with.
Machine gun from Jakarta.
You've bought them from Kopassus before.
Yeah, we need money, they need money, we need gun.
Meaning, the more Indonesia militarises Papua, the more they arm an insurgency against themselves. Sebby's job is to run all communications for that insurgency, an insurgency that borders on a frontier war. It is in the most remote and untouched areas of Papua where Indonesia is most brutal. The largely undeveloped highlands are where Indonesia feels most compelled to exert their territorial claims and extract untapped resources. Thus, in these regions, resistance is most fierce. Right now, Sebby is in the midst of one of the larger challenges he's faced in his role as spokesman for a guerrilla independence movement. That is, he's found himself becoming a key negotiator in a hostage situation on the other side of the island, in the remote jungles and mountains of Nduga.
The Papuan military have taken me captive in their efforts to fight for Papuan independence. They asked for the Indonesian military to go home, back to Indonesia, and if not, I will remain captive or my life is threatened.
In February, the Nduga TPN command, led by Egyanis Kugoya, took New Zealand pilot Philip Mertens hostage. Philip landed on a small airstrip in the Nduga Regency, where he was greeted by the TPN, who set his plane on fire and took him into the jungle, demanding Papuan independence in return for his release.
Kami bakar pesawat ini karena sudah kami hanya ingin Papua Merdeka. Semua negara tidak usah perhatikan orang Papua. Hanya ingin menikmati kekayaan Papua baru semua negara masuk. Tapi ingin Papua Merdeka ini semua negara tidak buka mata. Jadi sudah kami sementara orang dan kami ada sementara bakar pesawat ini. Jadi 32
These videos have all come through Sebby. There are no cell towers in the mountains of Nduga. There is very little electricity there. It's most likely these videos made their journey to the outside world on foot, walked through dense jungle from a TPN camp to the closest town with internet, where they were then sent to Sebby to distribute to foreign journalists who seem to be reluctant to publish any more than just snippets. Kugoya's group are now hiding from the Indonesian military, with Mertens hostage in one of the most remote places on Earth. The surrounding landscape includes everything from equatorial glaciers to rainforests. The very few means of communications in and out of this region serve as a great advantage to the TPN in ducking the massive military operation Indonesia has rolled out in response. This video was taken in April. It shows Indonesian troops at Wamena Airport, undoubtedly sent there to search for the hostage, or more accurately, search for Kugoya and his group. The isolation of the Nduga TPN also forms a great challenge for Sebby in organising negotiations from where he's taken refuge, on the Papua New Guinea side of the border. I've come to live with Sebby to see how the West Papuan National Liberation Army's spokesman is handling a hostage crisis, which has seen his army get the most media exposure they've had in a very long time, which is still virtually nothing.
So this is where you all operate from for your
Yeah, now for last 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah.
This is where you run the operation.
Yeah, because Papuan refugee areas currently have.
This shack that Sebby works out of is the node for all communications coming out of West Papua from the TPN. Almost every bit of TPN news that reaches foreign media comes through here. For a network of regional militias, barely in contact with each other, this place is the closest thing you'd get to a central base. It is here where Sebby writes press releases, communicates with guerrillas, and liaises with the few foreign journalists that are interested in covering a frontier war on Australia's doorstep. With no power in his town, sometimes until late at night, Sebby's work in the daytime is contained to how long his old laptop can keep charge, making him somewhat nocturnal.
Oh, sorry.
Ah, all out.
This, okay, you see. Sometimes I had for work when I already edit everything and I try to send to journalists like this. And then another frustration will come to you because this is my job, daily my job. So if your job not success, you feel frustration. Same I do.
Along with the hostage crisis, contributing to Sebby's lack of sleep is the fact that he's just had his 4th child.
8 months old.
8 months old.
And his name?
Jubir Sambom.
Jubir Sambom.
But I suspect it's mostly the whole running a guerrilla army's communications business to blame. It's only by getting to know Sebby that I really got an understanding of how quickly the Papuan people have had to adapt to the violent Indonesian occupation of their land. It wasn't until the mid-20th century that Sebby's people, the Yali, had any contact with the outside world.
So before white Christian missionaries came, Christian missionaries came to West Papua, our fathers and grandfather, they was cannibal.
So your father was a cannibal?
Yes, my father is a warlord commander in Yali tribe. And then he go fight with another clan, and then after kill, cut off leg, yes, 1 leg. If they kill 5, so 5 right leg cut off, and then 5 right hand cut off and take to home. And then my fathers and his troop report to community, said, okay, we already killed 5. And then that leg and hands, cooks, dance, everybody come join and eat.
Indonesia has caused some strange generational gaps. His dad was a cannibal, and now Sebby works primarily on the internet. He comes to wake me the next morning.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah. 24 April, April. I got information from Intan. They shot 2 of Indonesian soldiers. And then also Yahukimo, I got receive information yesterday. My boys called me and they said they already shot 2 Indonesian police.
2 Indonesian police?
Yeah, in Yahukimo district.
Really?
Yeah.
And
This evening.
And that was just last night?
Last night,
Last night. So did you put out the press releases? Did you put out press releases? Last night?
Already. Yesterday I already sent.
So you got a call last night, and
Yeah.
they say we got 2, and then you
Yeah.
put it out.
Yeah. That normal. Every short I send to release to all journalists, and they will publishing.
Yeah.
We organised to go to the markets to buy supplies for the week, and so Sebby can charge his laptop to get a few hours of work done in the day.
Yeah.
But we need to take laptop to charge.
Oh, yes.
Accompanying us to the markets is Oscar, a West Papuan refugee hailing from Nduga, the same place the hostage crisis is going on now.
Oscar is from Dugama.
Oscar's going to come with us?
Now we are lucky because directly he will speak with Duga language, and then any report we update from here. Together with him,
speak
yeah.
in Duga?
Yeah.
Very, very rare language.
He's all of young guy of Yudas.
Yeah.
Daniel Koya, Silas, and Kelikuali.
And you knew him?
Yeah,
You knew?
he was there. Ekianos before Bonds.
Yes.
Wow. Were you
Yeah. He was part
Yeah.
of hot take in 1969.
in 1996?
Yeah,
Yes.
96.
What Sebby and Oscar are referring to is the Mapinduma hostage crisis, an event with striking similarities to the current hostage crisis. In 1996, the OPM led by Silas Kagoya, Daniel Kagoya and Kelly Kwalik took 26 people working on a World Wildlife Fund project in Mapinduma hostage. What followed was 5 months of evading the Indonesian military, hiding the group of hostages in the jungle and negotiating with the Red Cross for their release. Which eventually came, but only after a military operation. A Trojan horse, a white helicopter posing as the Red Cross arriving in Gesalima village, seemingly to continue negotiations. This helicopter was instead filled with British and Indonesian special forces, who gunned down the villagers that came to welcome the Red Cross. The general in charge of that operation, Prabowo Subianto, is now Indonesia's defence minister. The OPM commanders that took the hostages have all since died at the hands of the Indonesian military, but Silas Kagoya's son is Egyanis Kagoya, who, as you can see, is continuing his father's fight. Mark Davis is the journalist who exposed the white helicopter operation. He is one of the only foreigners to have ever met Kelly Kwalik, Daniel Kagoya and Silas Kagoya.
All these guys now that are prominent in this kidnapping, they were all babies when I was in the forest. I mean, I knew them because I knew their fathers, right? Kelly Kwalik, Silas Kagoya, Daniel Kagoya. These are all heroes to the West Papuan people, the mythical people. They used to call them the outsiders. So people who never came in to any settlement. They wouldn't come in for the Christians. They certainly never came in for the Indonesians. They always carried the flag. I mean, they were totally sort of indigenous, forest dwellers. But they always carried the West Papuan flag, and they never put it down through the harshest of repression of Indonesia. So they were the outsiders.
Even the man in charge of negotiating a guerrilla army through a hostage crisis has to complete domestic duties before he can get to work.
It was the first day of September on a bright sunny day.
So you will see how the local people visit.
Yeah.
They are good, strong people.
Good, strong.
Yeah. Not like other place. They have only like government help. No. They are strong people. Hard work.
Do you sell gold?
Yeah. Yeah. You see? You know? Sometimes we have problem with when journalist interview, my phone off and laptop hard for charge because we know like PNG power on only night around 7 to 8 o'clock.
So you have to, every day you have to walk down to charge your laptop to the shop?
Yeah, no, sometimes if I need important, sort out in Papua, I need to publish hurry and then journalists will pick it up. Yeah.
And so you make this walk if there's big news or something is
Yes,
going on?
right. Yeah, like Jose, Kiwi pilot Jose is same situation.
Yes.
So I have a good friendship with China people. Around with father, no crying. But with mother, he will cry.
He doesn't cry with you.
Oh, yeah.
We get back from the markets, and Oscar is keen to show me some pictures of him at TPN meetings.
one in Banara and shoot him. Me no have
Really?
gun one.
You don't have gun. Only one gun. So
one
you
one
use,
gun.
You use
No
these.
no plenty max or gun no got.
No gun.
Yes, best came from number 3 no have gun. So soldier from best camp number 3 strong. Area strong, cold, mountain, big pula long pula mountain. Yes.
With Sebby's laptop now charged, I sit with him and Oscar as they do some work. But before any press releases are written, they receive a video from the jungle.
This is the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one may be problem. We will explain after this. We now interview for Oscar first.
Yeah. But this is new video of the pilot. Just came today.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Today is Monday, the 24th of April, the year 2023.
Yeah, this yesterday.
Yes.
We record yesterday.
Since OPM kidnapped me from Paro. As you can see, I'm still alive. I'm healthy. I've been eating well, drinking.
Wi-Fi only live.
We travel together as required. We sit together, we rest together. Indonesia's been dropping bombs in the area of the last week, and please, there's no need. It's dangerous for me and everybody here. Thank you for your support.
So he's saying no more bombs. Should stop dropping.
Indonesian
Indonesian
must be stop
dropping
deploy drop bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, deploy bomb because it's risky. Risk for him also everybody.
Yeah.
Even Indonesia can kill him by bombing,
Bombing. Yeah.
and everybody will die.
Sebby then takes a phone call from the man who sent him that video. There's some more news.
They're still fighting.
Still fighting.
Still
Many
fighting.
soldiers,
Really? Right now.
thousands of soldiers they send.
Did they just say the Indonesians just shot 2 of your boys?
Yeah, but no hit.
No hit.
All of safe.
All safe.
Yeah,
They're all alive?
they're
They're
alive.
alive?
Yeah, all of safe.
Good news.
But they shot 2 Indonesian soldiers.
They got 2 Indonesians.
On Friday.
On Friday.
Yeah, last week.
First time you heard of that?
Yeah, last week. Still continue fight. Yeah.
Why do you think Indonesia is bombing the area if they're trying to
Yeah, that is.
if they're trying to save a hostage?
They find the hostage, but this is mistake. But hostage is not missing.
No, you know where the hostage
He is
is.
with us.
Yeah.
5 months into the hostage crisis, and it appears Indonesia's rescue operations are not so much about rescuing Mertens, rather eradicating Egyanus Kogoya and his group. With an escalating military build-up, it's difficult to see a peaceful end to this crisis. Even if negotiations do take place, Indonesia has offered no reasons for the TPN to trust them, with the TPN steadily downgrading their demands from complete independence to the demilitarisation of Nduga. Yet nothing can assure the TPN that if they do release Mertens, Indonesia will demilitarise. In that sense, Indonesia has the Nduga people held hostage.
They're not asking for independence. They're not asking for money, prisoners be released. They're going quite literally. They are saying, please come and see what's happening to us. They're asking for the UN to come and see what's happening to us. That is their demand. I mean, it's the tamest demand you can imagine for a kidnapper to make. And yet, of course, even that is a bridge too far for Indonesia. The mere idea that any independent person would see what's happening in those mountains, because any individual would know it's a disgrace, right? There is no other way you could look at the gunning down of indigenous people from helicopters and with rockets. One of the last sort of tribal communities on the planet, let alone our region, and that's how they're being dealt with phosphorus bombs, hunted, across the mountains.
The shadow of the 1996 Mapenduma hostage crisis hangs over the region. The event has achieved a near mythic status. Many Nduga remember it as the last time that any outsider paid attention to the massacres and forced starvation committed by the Indonesian government. Since then, virtually no outsider has been back. The current hostage crisis appears to be an attempt to recapture that attention. Yet the Trojan Horse Red Cross helicopter operation that brought Mapinduma to a close has made this hostage crisis far more difficult to conclude.
What happened there was a disaster for the reputation of the Red Cross, for the reputation of all NGOs trying to assist in West Papua. But I believe that nothing has been learnt in those 25 years. It will end probably the same way the last one ended, that is, with a failed negotiations, a deliberate attempt to keep media out. So when I said they did let media in, in a way, they sent in false media. They didn't send in real journalists, right? So the ambition is always to suppress the story. It was then, and it is now, and there will be no resolution other than a military strike by Indonesia. I hope it's a military strike without the assistance of Western intelligence, as the last one did have the assistance of Western intelligence, if not soldiers. I can see no conclusion.
We're walking back to Sebby's office so we can start distributing the video of Egiannis and the hostage to an intermediary that will then send the video on to the New Zealand government.
I sent this video and he said, "Thank you, Sebby. I will send to New Zealand government." And then I reply here, if New Zealand government not respond, then I will send to journalists. Yeah.
Interesting.
And he reply again, I will tell them, "Hi Sebby, there is a problem with the video file, can get sound but not picture. Possible to resend?"
Yeah, you got it all the way from Nduga, but it stops. Australians can't figure out the internet.
Yeah.
It's Sebby's job to verify reports of conflict and casualties from both Indonesia and the TPN. There's been a shootout in Nduga, and journalists are asking him about it.
Journalists asked me, they found 5 Indonesian personnel, yeah? 5 Indonesian soldiers. They found body.
Found the bodies of 5.
Yeah, 5. But still not yet. Still missing another 11.
Another 11 are missing.
Yeah, so journalists asked me, does 11 is still in the bush, on the jungle? Missing in the jungle? But our boys said they really killed them.
So this was written by your boys in Ndugama.
So I will edit.
Killed one more Kopassus terrorist to 3-2 from Friday. Because there were many victims on the part of the Kopassus terrorist forces, 3 nearby posts came to help their friends with indiscriminate shooting. We were not hit by any bullets from the joint Kopassus terrorist enemy until 12 noon. At 16.30 we attacked the combined Kopassus terrorists. They ran wildly, leaving their weapons behind. Some ran and jumped into the ravine to throw themselves away, and the terrorist troops we killed were 8 people. 4 Kopassus terrorists were taken hostage. 2 hours later we executed 4 Kopassus terrorist hostages. So the total number of combined Kopassus terrorists that we have killed is 16 Kopassus terrorists. The ammunition we got was 3,260 rounds, HT communication tools, satellite telephones, drones and many other military tools that we are still studying and will report later, because the situation is still a war of bombs.
That's what they're saying, is Indonesia isn't telling the truth about how many people are dying. How many of their troops are dying?
Indonesia say 1 only.
They said 1 only, but how many died in reality?
But the reality is, before is 3.
3?
And 15th of April is 6.
6. So why do you think Indonesia are lying about it?
They lying because this is special force.
Sebby introduces me to Terianis Sato, the chief of the general staff to the TPN, who is now living nearby as a refugee. Terianis has been fighting for the Free Papua movement since the 1980s.
Jadi dia bilang, apakah waktu itu kamu bergabung dan kamu harus operasi di jalan di hutan?
Ya, kami terus berjuang dengan apa adanya, kami jalan pakai panah, senjata satu-satu kami terus berjuang.
In the face of what is almost an insurmountable challenge, achieving Papuan independence, the recurring stories of barely armed Papuans taking on the Indonesian military and having moderate success are very much a source of continued inspiration for the TPN. So much so that events like the Mapenduma hostage crisis become canonised, legendary and generation-shaping, viewed almost in the same way that Australians view battles like Gallipoli. It is stories like these that appear to keep men like Terianus hopeful after 40 years of being hunted by the Indonesian military.
Ya baik, terima kasih. Yang pertama kami percaya Tuhan. Yang kedua kami percaya alam kami. Yang ketiga kami percaya kepada kami punya keturunan. 3 hukum itu kami pegang, kami dalam siap lawan Indonesia.
Yeah, they doesn't know, understand our territory, our jungle, our mountain, our river. Yeah. So they only run with cars and trucks on highway, main road.
But they can't
Yeah.
they can't go into the
Yeah.
jungle.
They can't go to jungle.
Yeah.
We will kill them. They know very well. If they come to try fight with us, but we will kill more and more. They will kill us few only. We believe that.
This optimism is necessary for the TPN if they are to continue to fight a supremely asymmetrical battle with no material support from virtually anyone but themselves. These videos from a TPN meeting in Kiwi Rock last year truly display this optimism. Although the meeting was jubilant, the reason Sebby was in Kiwi Rock was tragic. In October 2021, after a spate of arson attacks, the Indonesian military conducted a bombing campaign there, dropping mortars from drones and shooting rockets designed by European company Thales from helicopters. For almost 2 years, Sebby has been attempting to bring this attack and its aftermath into public view, so he took me to a nearby village to speak to some of the victims. The investigation into this attack required a separate video, which is in the description. But it is here, in the remote Star Mountains, with no reception, so no hostage negotiations, that I get to know Sebby the best. He tells me more about himself and how he became involved in the Free Papua movement. There is also no electricity, so this interview is lit by a dim fire. When was the first time you met an Indonesian?
In 1987, I was grade 7, grade 6 of primary. In the village, no photographer, so we must travel to Wamena from Paspali to Wamena, 1 day, 1 night.
And then that's the first time you ever met an Indonesian?
Yes, in Wamena.
Were you surprised?
Yes, of course.
What did you think?
We call people are like Kasuari. They hair is like Kasuari, like hair of pig. We call it all Indonesia because we feel funny. We see people like that.
He tells me how he's been arrested multiple times and how his son was born 4 days into a year-long prison stint.
So you see my son Wimane Sambom was born 20 of December 2008. After Indonesia arrest me, 4 days after Indonesia arrest me.
4 days he was born, and then you spent 2 years in jail.
Yeah, but before 2 years, they released me by peril of law.
Sebby eventually escaped West Papua, whilst on parole fleeing across the border to Papua New Guinea, a common journey for West Papuan leaders, a journey which infuriates the Indonesian government. Indonesian generals have recently asked Interpol to take action against Sebby, who for now is out of their reach. Yet you can't evacuate half an island. There will be no escape for the people of Nduga or most of Kagoya's group. They believe they've been left with no other option but hostage-taking, a last resort, a plea for the world to pay attention. A few days after I left the island, the TPN sent out another video, directly referencing Mapenduma. The man speaking is Rumianus Wandikbo, Oscar's brother.
Perjuangan kami adalah perjuangan murni dengan ketentuan hukum yang ada di dunia internasional. Segera penyelesaian kemanusiaan sesama negara-negara lain. Coba negara-negara yang tersebut di atas. Kami sama-sama periksa perjuangan kami selama tahun 1961 sampai 1963 dan 1996 di waktu penyanderaan 6 Januari tahun 1996 di peristiwa Mapenduma di bawah pimpinan Jenderal Kelly Kualik Jenderal Juras Daniel Kogea, Jenderal Silas Elmin Kogea, Jenderal Daud Lokmbere, Jenderal Titus Murib, Jenderal Goliath Tabuni, Jenderal Kamangki Kemong, Jenderal Pasemal, Jenderal Lekegah Telengen, menuntut kemerdekaan dengan penyanderaan negara asing dan Indonesia. Dan waktu itu jenderal yang tersebut di atas adalah pernah ketemu dengan Oskop Moningop, Ketua Delegasi Palang Merah Internasional, duta-duta dari 13 negara. Dan waktu itu kelik-walik dalam pidato atau wawancara di atas panggung adalah di depan perwakilan duta-duta dari 13 negara. Kelly menuntut kemerdekaan Papua Barat. Segera terlepas dari Indonesia. Itu adalah menuntutan jenderal-jenderal yang telah gugur. Tetapi kami generasi meneruskan perjuangan orang tua yang ditinggalkan. Dan kami menuntut kemerdekaan kami. Indonesia segera diakui.
The TPN want to continue the fight of their fathers and recreate Mapenduma 96. The problem for them and the pilot is, so do the Indonesians.